To my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a square neck. Someone sent it to me on Instagram. So sometimes this square neck can be hard to make. Sometimes if you cut it, it might be too loose by the neck. So I'm going to show you guys how to cut a perfect square line. This is a request from someone. So I'm going to be drafting it on this pattern, but you can go directly on your fabric. I'm just drafting it here because I don't have fabric to explain it. So basically you're going to draw a basic bodice pattern. So we have our front panel folded into two, the back panel folded into two, right? Both of these are folded into two. Guys, whatever I'm saying here, just imagine it to be directly on your fabric if you want. And then you're going to have your zipper allowance, which is mostly 1.5 inches in between here. So after that, now I'm going to pin this down so it doesn't move while I'm drafting the pattern. So guys, first thing first, we're going to draft the basic body. So from this part here, you insert your shoulder measurement divided by 2. Since this is going to be a sleeveless, my shoulder measurement divided by 2 would have been 8, but I'm going to remove 1 from this since it's going to be a sleeveless. Mark that here, right? And then on this line, I'm going to come down 1 inch. Insert your armhole divided by 2. So from this point now that you've marked, you're going to mark your armhole divided by 2, which for me is going to be 8.5 here. Whatever it is round your armhole, you're going to insert that here. And then after that, I'm going to just mark 3 inches. I'm just washing through to mark a basic bodice here. And then connect this shoulder slope from here to here, right? And then from this point now, I'm going to go ahead and connect from this line to this line in a straight line too. So guys, once you've marked this now, the next step, if it's not a sleeveless, I'm just trying to explain the square neckline, but the one the person sent to me was supposed to be a sleeveless dress. If it's not a sleeveless, just insert your total shoulder to shoulder divided by 2. You mark that. No need to remove 1 inch from here, but I'm doing this because the one the person sent to me is like a sleeveless dress. So the next thing is to add remember the fold of this fabric is supposed to be your bust measurement divided by 4 plus your seam allowance. So let's say my bust measurement divided by 4 is going to be 8 plus seam allowance, that's 9. 1 inch of seam allowance, so that is 9 here. After that, you're going to insert your waist divided by 4. So let's say for me is about 6 inches here, or 6.5 inches, sorry. And then plus 2 inches is what I'm going to do here. Guys, remember, like I said, this here is just to show the person how to draft this square neckline. So after that, you're going to connect from the waist to the bust. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to insert nipple to nipple measurement. So let's say for this pattern here is 7 inches divided by 2 is going to be 3.5, and then you're going to mark from their shoulder to their chest line to the bust line. So let's say for me that is somewhere here, and then you're going to stop 1 inch before that is where my dart is going to stop. So I'm going to just mark my dart here and then connect it this way, right? This is basically the dart. So now let's move over to the neckline. I've shown the body. So guys, to mark this square neckline, it depends on you. You can do, let's say from the end of this part here, you can do 2 inches inwards from here. You can do 1.5 inches in, and then once you mark that, you're going to come down here, mark where you want the neckline to be. It depends on you. You can do 6 inches, you can do 7 inches. It depends on you how low you want it to go. So let's say I decided to do about let's say 7 inches. Let's say I decide to do 7 inches here. So what I'm going to do now is from this point, I'm just going to take this line in, and then from this point I'm going to bring it down like this. Try not to make it like stand too straight. Just try to curve it just in a little bit like this here, this way. So this is now my neckline here, and then this is basically what your square neckline would look like. And then the next thing, you see this line is just like maybe by just 1/4 of an inch it moved in a little bit. And then after that, you're going to, don't forget to also draw in your armhole, right? So let me just put that in. So guys, that's basically it on how to draw your neckline. So remember, this is my zipper allowance here. This is my zipper allowance. So for the back neckline, you can also continue this same square neckline. You can cut exactly the same thing you cut in front, extend it to the back, extend the same shoulder to this. This can have a sleeve if you want it to have a sleeve. Extend this. Everything you've cut in front is what you're going to cut at the back, except for this 1/2 inch of armhole that we normally bring in here for the front. But your front armhole is going to continue with this straight line and then curving this way. Every other thing is the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it now so you guys can see what I'm saying. As you see, I've gone ahead, cut it this way, cut it up, and then this side, and then just cut from this point now. You can use your lining to turn this over. So I'm going to also cut out my armhole now. So turn it around this way and cut from this side out. I'm just going to cut the one for the back armhole, and then once I separate the back from the front, I can go ahead and chip off this excess here for the front. So now let me pin this down back so it will not move. So now that we've done this, guys, the next thing we are going to do is I'm going to open it up. So that I marked here, I'm going to also mark it at the back, just so that I can be able to insert my back dart, because it's supposed to be at the same point. So guys, this is the front, this is the front, this is the back. So you see the back zip, the back that goes up to the chest line. So guys, the next thing you're going to do now is always shorter than your front, right? So remember, don't forget to go up 1 inch at the back here, and then you're going to connect it this way and cut it off, right? This is the side is still going to be the same, because this side is going to be joining to this side in front, right? These two sides are going to meet each other, so you don't want to change the length of this side, but you want to blend in this part to fit in. So once you cut it into this part, you're going to cut this part off. So the front is going to be shorter just by the center, not getting to the edge. So you're going to cut this off. That's the difference between the front and the back, so that the side will still remain the same. So that's basically this side now. What I do now is I'm going to tell you guys, in case if you cut this and you open it up and the neckline doesn't fall over on your shoulder, this is how you're going to correct it. So I'm going to just show you guys how to correct that. So the next thing you're going to do now, it should flap over on your neckline. But let's say in a case where you cut it and it's still too big, it doesn't like fall over, it keeps gaping open in front. What you can do is just to come over here at this tip here, mark 1/2 inch here, right? Mark like 1/2 inch here, and then go over to this other edge to mark 1/2 inch on this side, right? So guys, you're going to mark 1/2 inch from each edge, 1/2 inch from each edge of this square, right? Remember the line that you used to mark your square neckline like this. At this angle here, just mark 1/2 inch away from this line, and then you're going to find the center of that 1/2 inch and mark it like in form of a dart, connecting all the way down to where your line is like this. Make it in such a way that it's going to connect almost like this. And then you're going to form a dart at this point, but you're not going to form it to connect to this point. Remember, this part here has 1 inch before your bust line, right? It has 1 inch before that line. So you're going to stop that dart somewhere again, like 1 inch before you get to this point. Also, you see, because this was supposed to be a line of our shoulder to breast point like this, and our dart stopped 1 inch before that. Remember, this is the line here. So our dart stopped one inch before that. That's normally what you do. That's from your shoulder to your nipple, right? Your dart normally stops 1 inch before that. So to put in a small dart at this shoulder part, make it also stop 1 inch before that line from coming from the top, and then you're going to just blend it 1/2 inch, go like now 1/4 of that inch going into this part here, and then 1/4 of that inch going into this part here, just like this. And then you're going to also do the same thing on this side. Find halfway through that 1/2 inch that you marked here, connect it to this line again, and then you're going to stop 1 inch before where it's supposed to end, and then blend it this way like this, and then connect it again 1/2 inch on 1/4 of an inch is what I want to say. So you're splitting, it's 1/2 inch that you're sharing in between the two lines. So once you finish that now, you can go to your and then you also cut your lining. So guys, like I said, you can use lining, you can use facing, anyone you want to do, you can do that. So you can just go ahead now, fold this into two like this, fold this into two, and then fold it like this. It depends on you. If you're using lining, just cut exactly the same thing, everything on a lining. Cut the back panel, everything the same on a lining. But if you're using, you just want to use like a facing to turn it over, then you have to just fold your fabric into two this way and make sure that it comes down enough, like comes down past almost to your chest line. It goes down up to this line here. That's how far the second fabric you're going to use is, but it's not looking like that for me here. So basically what I'm going to do is just to cut again like this, the same neckline, everything, like just cut it as my facing so that I can use it to turn this over, right? So just like this, I'm going to now cut it out. Is you can't use bias for a square neckline because it will be hard to, not that you can't do it, but it will be hard to get all the corners. So it's better to just use a facing, or you can go ahead and use your lining. It's better that way. So basically this is what you're going to do, guys. Remember, like I said, try to make your own to come down more, like I said, but this is just for the sake of the video. I'm using the paper that I have. So basically what you're going to do is do the same thing on the back panel. Cut the same bias on the back panel. Join the bias of the front to the bias of the back. Join the shoulder of the front. Let me split this open so you guys remember that this is our zipper allowance, right? So when I go to sew this now, I'm going to pick my dart and then I'm going to join the shoulder to shoulder like this. Join each shoulder, sew it together down this way, and then I'm going to take my bias, my facing, sew it. I'm also going to cut one for the front, so the shoulder is going to come up here and I'm going to sew the two of them together. And then once you do that, right, you're going to place it front side facing each other. The front of my facing will be facing this one, the front of the back facing will be facing this one. Like what I mean is you're going to cut another one for the back, right? You're going to join the shoulder of this, join this together, and then for the facing, join the one from this facing to the other one, join the one from this facing to the other one, and then you're going to take it to your sewing machine and start from the shoulder and sew it all the way down to the corner. Sew it all the way down like this. Sew it half, like with maybe 1/4 of an inch into this corner, 1/4 of an inch away again, back to this corner, 1/4 of an inch all the way up, and then go into the other one, join it together. Once you're done, you go over to the sleeve, start again, do the same thing. That's why I said let your seam, if it's not going to have sleeve, then make it come down enough to your bust line, so that you can also use that same 1/2 inch, sew it all the way across your sleeve like this, join it to the other side, and then go over to this next sleeve. Do the same thing on this side. Once you've done that, guys, I know you understand what I'm saying now. So once you join it on the neckline all the way around, join the armhole also all the way around, join it all the way to this point here. Once you've done that now, the next thing you're going to do is to put your hand inside of this opening and pull this part into this part and iron it out. That's basically notch off all the excess in the neckline and then pull this part into this part. Once you've sewn it like that, you can always remember to also notch the armhole side, right, so that everything is free, and then you put your hand inside here and pull this smaller one into this part. Open this side again, pull this one, pull this sleeve like this, pull it into this part like this and bring it out from here. So once you've done that, you turn it over, iron it very well, and then you can go ahead and close up the sides and join your gather at the bottom, join your pencil skirt, whatever it is you're trying to make from it, join it at the bottom. If it's not going to, this is for sleeveless, right? You want to give it a finishing at the edge, but if it's going to have a sleeve at the end, all you have to sew is just the neckline, is what you're going to join to the facing. There's no need for joining the side. Guys, this also applies if you're using a lining and the lining is just the same length as the cloth. The same thing is what you're going to do. You're going to dart the lining, dart the fabric itself, and then turn it over. Everything just applies. It's just that this facing is shorter, but it's still the same method of turning it over. But if it's going to have a sleeve, there will not be any need to sew the side. You just go ahead, sew the front, turn it in this way into the side, inside it, and then just sew, attach your sleeve to the armhole. So how you're going to fold this dart is just basically turn it away this way, turn the 1/2 inch into itself, and then you go ahead and sew it. You see, you sew it like this, and then also fold your dart this way and sew it. This will help you bring in your neckline. It will now look almost like a neckline dart almost like a princess that, but this one is coming from your neckline. So that's basically how you do this. I hope I explained it well for you. And please, the person that left it, the suggestion should please identify in the comment section, and in case if she has any question or anything. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.